Hey, what's up guys and welcome back to Anime King 3, and today I'm going to be giving you part 9 of What If Naruto Was Neglected with Jashin sealed inside of him. Remember to get this one to 100 likes as usual, share this to all of your friends in your social media platform, and also go ahead and check out the brand new episode of What If Naruto Became the God of Lightning and enjoy that guys over on Anime King. And over Anime King 2, I posted a brand new episode of What If Naruto Had the Rarest Bloodline, so go ahead and check out that and enjoy. And remember, if you're new, to go ahead and click that red subscribe button and become part of the Anime King family. And thank you for all for your help and your support. Remember to comment down below and tell me if you're new, I'll be replying talking back to all of you. So yeah, without further ado, what do you say we begin this new episode? Start the intro. So the last time we left off, 2 months had passed. Yes, 2 months. Minato was furious as he made Naruto sit down. Immediately he told him to. Naruto has been doing nothing but, well, things to get Minato pissed off in the past 2 months. There has been many complaints. Naruto set the woman lawn on fire. They were there to weed the grasses. He opened the cages, letting all the young pups run away. Some of them were even found dead. Minato got a lot of reports on him as he warned Naruto that he can have him stripped of his rank and placed into prison. As the last time, Kakashi told Naruto to stop, but Naruto still broke Sasuke's arm without any mercy, to the point where Kakashi had to intervene a bit violently. The more he talked and the more he got angry, the more Naruto showed that he didn't really care about what he says or what he does. As Kushina, she tried to reason with him, but the things that he said keep on bringing back things up from the past. It really hurt them because they knew that they did all of those as he left him to be beaten by the villagers. And it was, well, hard on them. They couldn't even imagine how it was on him. As he asked if he could just go now. The next day, as Menma and Hinata were making their way, he was hoping to get his first kiss from her today, as he brought her towards a meadow in the back of the yard where the pond was. Hinata felt guilty, nothing but guilt, as she remembered what happened last month, as she had went down there to stop all of this madness, saying that she didn't really want him to do any more of these things. As the last time she went down there, he pushed her back against the wall and he tried to kiss her. But her mind, her very soul, her body refused to listen to her when he pushed her up against the wall once again. As he took her first kiss. She was planning on giving that to Menma, as despite everything, he was a good guy, but he took it away from her. As she ran away, as she didn't know what to do, Menma thought that he got his first kiss from her, but in fact, she already had her first kiss. It was his, but he thought that the both of them had shared a special moment, so she felt nothing but guilt. Minato assigned Yamato and Kakashi to the Land of Wave mission. Kazuna had explained to Minato as there will be a payment program set up between Konoha and the Wave after the mission was over. They were supposed to conduct this mission silently and take out Gato because the Fire Daimyo has some bad meetings with Gato, and the man wanted Gato gone and know that he was a problem to the Wave. It was a chance to take him out, which they were going to do. Minato also gave them a side mission to see how Naruto react outside the village. After all, they have to know if he was a flight risk. If he wanted to leave Konoha and run away, yes, they had to know. That is why he told him to keep a keen eye on Naruto. And also watch out for Menma and the others. Menma didn't really like Naruto that much and everyone knew it. Menma was furious, as he couldn't believe he was going on a mission with him, but Mito was able to calm him down as they made their way off. Hinata was still feeling rather guilty. She would have to talk to Naruto the moment he came back, as she would have to tell him to keep his damn mouth shut and don't tell Menma anything. She couldn't afford this to come out, so she would go and visit him the moment he's back. And if he tried anything, she would hurt him, she thought to herself. As they made their way on their mission, they were attacked by the Demon Brothers. Kakashi and Tenzo wanted to see what they were made of. As the group was completely caught off guard. Minma and Sasuke moving though, but they were not back as the demon brothers kept on coming. It was then that Naruto retaliates. He was fast, his movement swift and deadly as he teared through the ankle of one. He slaughtered one of the brothers, the other one moving back as Naruto was about to kill him as well, but Kakashi intervened as he needed to know who the demon brothers are with. Tenzo looked like he was about to restrain Naruto because Naruto looked like he was about to attack Kakashi, but he calmed himself after a while. As with that, they continued their mission. As Kakashi was able to get the information out of the remaining brother, Zabuza was with them. But the remaining brother did not tell them about Zabuza's aid. So yeah guys, those basic guys with the top you guys can switch across the place and check out for yourself. So what do you say begin this new episode? Minma had his eyes wide open, along with his ears, as he was ready. He was on edge a bit, as he was ready. He looked around ready for anything. He was not going to be one-up once again by that damn demon. He was not going to be one-up once again. That is why he kept on glancing around, looking for another enemy that might show up, so he can take them down quickly to show that that demon is not above him. He didn't know how he got so strong, but all of their battles so far had been luck because Minma didn't want to hurt him. Yes, that is how his mind saw it. After all, why the hell should he waste his time with that damn demon? As he watched him, he turned his head. There he was. He was lazing back like he didn't give a damn or care in the world. Minma made sure he was ready. The next time, he was going to be the one that defeated the enemy. As Sasuke glanced around, the place was quiet. Too quiet. Sakura looked around as well. She and Ami were speaking a moment ago, but the moment they came off the boat ride, the place got filled with so many mists. It was hard to see far ahead. Kakashi knew that there was something off. After all, he knew about Zabuza, a silent killing technique. That is why he was ready as well. Yamato, hands were ready to move at a second notice. As Mito glanced around, trying to spread out her senses, she was told by her mother that she had the same sensory ability as her, but her sensory ability was not that advanced yet. She will have to train more on that to increase her range, but she didn't sense anything so far. Meanwhile, Naruto-kun, yes, said Naruto, I can feel a bloodlust lurking. It's quite a distance off, but it's lurking. You should be having company anytime now, said Jashin. You remember what I taught you, said the Kyuubi. Yeah, negative emotion, said Naruto. As Naruto closed his eyes, he spread out his senses, a different type of senses. I can feel it. It's two of them. One of them just separated from the other. The other one is looking this way. The bloodlust is being kept suppressed. Is he gonna go for a surprise attack? It seems that way, said Naruto. It's coming, said Jashin. Kakashi snapped his head to the side. Duck, he said, as he tackled Tazuna down to the ground. As Naruto held out his hand, as he grabbed the blade out of mid-air, he didn't expect the strength that it was swinging at though, as he was launched with it, going straight up toward a tree. But Naruto gripped it tight as he slammed it into the earth, stopping it from going any further. As he held onto the handle, the blade was massive. As he lifted it up with both hands and rested on his shoulder, someone flashed on the tree. As a person stood there, looking down at all of them, you could clearly see that person was annoyed despite the bandage over his face. He seemed really annoyed. I take it this is yours, said Naruto. Zabuza looked down. You shouldn't be grabbing things that are not yours, kid. You might get hurt, he said. Well then, why don't you come and take it? Kakashi stepped forward as he stopped Naruto. Naruto, be quiet. Zabuza. Ah, Kakashi. The Sharingan Ninja, Kakashi. So you're the one on this mission, said Zabuza with a smirk. Well, I guess this will be interesting after all. Seems you hire some strong ninjas for yourself, huh, bridge builder? Well, Zabuza cracked his neck. Kakashi, how about you hand him over? And perhaps I won't kill all of you, said Zabuza. I'm afraid I can't do that. and I'm afraid I'm gonna have to stop you from interfering. Hey brat, why don't you hand over that blade of mine? After all, I'm gonna need it if I'm gonna kill the bridge builder. As Naruto looked at the blade, not my style in a way, as he tossed it. Kakashi's one eye went wide as Zabuza caught his blade. Good kid, said Zabuza with a smile. Kakashi clenched his fists, but he calmed himself for now. He was gonna reprimand Naruto for that later. Giving back the weapon to the enemy was a rather stupid thing to do. Suddenly, Zabuza leaped off the tree as many vines tried to grab onto him. Wooden vines as Zabuza sliced through them with a head cleaver blade before flipping as he landed on the ground. He jumped out towards the water. Stay here, all of you, and protect the bridge builder. Me and Yamato will take care of this. As Kakashi jumped off, Yamato already on Zabuza's toe. As Menma stepped forward, what the hell were you thinking? I mean, I know you're a dumbass and you don't know much because you hardly do anything in school. But you should never hand the enemy back their blade. Are you that stupid? Said Menma as he glared at Naruto. As Naruto looked at him from head to toe, move. It was one word that he uttered. No, said Menma. Everyone might let you get away with all the crap that you did because somehow they seem to be afraid of you, but I am not. Sasuke stepped forward as well, as Naruto simply laughed. Move, he said once again, as Mito narrowed her eyes. Ami, ready herself. They were supposed to be watching over the bridge builder, and it looked like a fight was about to break out. You are unfitting to be a Konoha shinobi, said Menma. If it was up to me. But it's not, said Naruto. You are just a whiny, nosy, annoying brat that loves to talk. Doing everything to try and impress your goddamn father. I really hate you know that, said Naruto. And yet still you still try to provoke me by coming up in my face to talk. Do you want me to hurt you, said Naruto. You know, you could die out here on this mission. After all, facing off against missing ninjas like that, the guy seems strong. It's really not fitting for a genin. You could die. All of you could, said Naruto. Tazuna felt a shiver run down his spine as Naruto's red eyes looked over them. As his hands started to move behind him. After all, another missing nin could come and attack us all and kill us. And perhaps I be the only one to survive. No one will know. What the hell are you talking about, said Menma. Naruto pulled back his head as he slammed it in Menma's forehead. I told you to move, he said. Menma staggered back, blood rushing down his forehead. He reached up and touched it as he pulled out a kunai. Mito got between them. That's enough, she said. We were told to watch over the bridge builder, not fight. Stop this, she said to the both of them. As she looked at Naruto, his eyes seemed to look through her like she wasn't even there. Menma gripped the kunai so tight, his hand started to turn white. Ami grabbed onto his hand. Stop, she said. You would jeopardize the mission. This is your first mission outside the village. Do you really want us to jeopardize it, she asked. He took a deep breath. Because of him, she said. You're right. I shouldn't jeopardize my first mission outside the village because of some waste of space. I'll get you back for this. You'll see, said Menma. As Ami pulled out her first aid kit. Let me help you with that, she said. Don't worry. I heal fast, Menma said. Flashback a couple of hours before the attack. As Gato was in front of his decks. I've already sent Zabuza to fight off the opponents and to take the bridge builder's head. He believes he can do it alone, but the Konoha ninjas are a lot. It seems that they're with 2 Jonins and some bunch of brats. That is why I'm hiring you. While Zabuza is busy with the Jonins, I want you to take out the brats and kill the bridge builder and end this once and for all. I would pay you the same amount that I'm paying Zabuza. That should be easy enough, right? You are one of the 7 ninja swordsmen as well. The man in front of the decks, Raiga, the holder of the twin Kiba blades, smiled. It's been a long time since I've seen Zabuza. This ought to be fun. Back with the team, they heard explosions over to the side. As Naruto started to walk off. Hey! We are told to stay here, said Mito. Naruto didn't even bother to look at her. "Hey," said Sasuke as he stepped in front of Naruto. "We were given an order by our sensei. Do you really want to screw this up? You already been warned about all the bad things you've done so far. What do you think they're gonna do next? As much as I hate to say it, you're a member of this team. And without you, certain missions we can't go on unless we find another team member. And given that graduations are over, I don't want to be placed off a team for that long," said Sasuke. "So that's the only reason I'm telling you to stay here and don't go out and do something dumb." "Well, Uchiha, it's not like you can tell me what to do," said Naruto as he started to walk off. As Kazuna didn't know what was wrong with this kid, he didn't follow the rules and he listed no one. Was this kid really a shinobi? After all, shinobis always follow the rules, didn't they? And his commanding officer clearly told him to stay here. After all, zap! Naruto was struck in the chest by lightning. He was thrown as he smashed right through a tree. My eyes went wide as he pushed Kazuna out of the way. Kazuna rolled on the ground as the era was destroyed with lightning. Minma looked up as he brought up a kunai as he blocked the twin Kiba blades that nearly struck him right in the chest. The blades were yanked back by the threads that were attached to them. As the man in ear spin released another bolt of lightning, blowing all of them away. Sakura crashed headfirst in a tree as she passed out. Ami slammed face first down into the mud as she passed out as well. Sasuke was able to flip as he skidded back on his feet. Mito dropped hard as she winced as she gripped her arm. Minma cursed as a tree root had lodged right into his arm. He ripped it out. Blood started to spray down to the ground. He cursed as he grabbed onto it tight. The man then landed. I'm surprised. Usually kids don't get back up after that. You must be special. As Raiga smiled. Don't worry. Once this is all over, I'll give you all a proper funeral. Funeral? So you're gonna bury us? Raiga was confused as he turned his head. You're alive? As Naruto picked himself up. Not even a scratch on him. How? I hate you, right in your chest. You're one interesting one. You can't kill something that is already dead, said Naruto. Oh? And what do you mean by that, Raiga said. Well, you were the one that spoke about the funeral. I suppose I could give you one after this. Sorry, but I'm the one that gives out funerals, not the other way around. Well, there's always time for a change, said Naruto. Not in this concept, said Raiga. As he threw the blades, the both of them ripping through the air, crackling with lightning as Naruto jumped. He passed right through the center, before he twirled his body and grabbed onto the cables that were attached to them. Raiga smirked as he sent out a bolt of electricity that shot Naruto hard. Right in the middle, his entire body cracked with lightning. But instead of crying out in pain, he smiled. A bloodthirsty smile as he kept on shocking him. Blood started to drop from his mouth as he licked his lips. He then yanked. Raiga flipped as he released it, before going to one side of his own as he pointed his fingers like guns, firing bolts of electricity towards Naruto as Naruto leaped up off the ground. As he met Raiga in mid-air, Raiga twisted as he dropped himself. The moment he dropped, he grabbed his blade and threw it towards Naruto back. It was gonna pierce right through him. As Raiga watched it, as the thing pierced right through Naruto's shoulder, Raiga then dragged the cable as he brought Naruto down. He gripped the other blade, ready to drive it right through Naruto's skull. At the last moment, Naruto's eyes snapped on him as he twirled, spinning his body around Raiga and sinking his teeth right into the man's shoulder blade. Raiga cried out in pain and agony, screaming a bloodthirsty scream as Naruto tore. Raiga threw Naruto over to the side as Naruto stayed on his feet, his mouth leaking with blood. Not his though. As he licked his lips, a bloodthirsty grin on his face. Mito, who was attending to the bridge builder who had been knocked out in the blow, watched the horrified scene in front of her. Sasuke and Minma, for some reason they couldn't move. Was it fear? As Naruto was oozing this bloodlust that just seemed to surround the entire area. "What the hell are you?" said Raiga. "Someone you shouldn't have met," said Naruto. As Raiga gripped his collarbone, blood was leaking down his chest. He couldn't believe a brat did him like this. Just what in the world was this brat? But he was not one of the 7-ninja swordsmen for nothing. As he pointed the blades towards Naruto and fired the lightning, the thing slammed right into Naruto's chest. After all, lightning was too fast for people to dodge so easily. But to Raiga's surprise, the cloak that he was wearing, that shirt, it seemed to swallow up his lightning into a thick, black abyss of darkness. The more lightning Raiga zapped him with, the more steam, the more darkness bellowed from Naruto's body. Sasuke dropped to his knees, panting heavily. As his breath was hitching, he felt like he was about to die. Menma was shaking badly, his body unresponsive. Mito was puking as she felt like her insides were being boiled. Raiga felt his stomach turning and twisting. More, said Naruto, his eyes gleaming with death and destruction. As he shot forward, bam! Raiga blocked the first hit as he grabbed Naruto's hand, but Naruto twisted. Raiga stabbed the blade right through Naruto's arm. But the kid simply smiled despite the blood oozing out as he yanked his arm. The blade carving into it deep, he ripped it out. Naruto pulled his head back and so did Raiga as their heads smashed together, boom! A cracking sound could be heard as the both of them staggered back as Naruto dropped backwards before catching himself. He picked himself up, blood leaking from his forehead. "I'm not done yet. Are you?" Raiga slowly got off the ground as he was still holding on to his shoulder that was bleeding rather badly. He had to finish this quickly as he pulled out a kunai and threw it towards Naruto. As Naruto dodged, Raiga was upon him in a second, the Kiba blades coming down towards his eyes. At the last second, Raiga electrified him. Naruto's cloak came up. The darkness swallowed the electricity. Raiga saw the end of his Kiba blades got swallowed in the darkness as well. As he felt the darkness crawling up on his hands, it was like death was trying to grab him. He leaped back in fear. As Naruto moved, bam! His fist smashed into Raiga's gut. The man coughed up blood as he was surprised a kid could hit this hard. Raiga might have been strong, but he was not Zabuza's level. He was probably low B or very high C. Not Zabuza's level at all. As he crashed down to the ground, he started to pick himself up as he reached for the card. As he yanked it, the Kiba blade came back towards him, the both of them. "I don't know what the hell you are, kid, but you're gonna die right here." He pointed the blades up in the sky as a bolt of electricity streamed way up in the sky. He then lowered the blades on Naruto. The electricity bursts and strike, an explosion that swallowed the entire area as the massive dose of electricity tore apart the entire ground. As Mito and Menma covered their eyes, Sasuke had passed out. Too much bloodlust in the era, his mind, his poor body could not take it. Menma was on the ground as he couldn't move. The feeling of death kept on washing over him, chilling his very soul. Mito was barely holding it together. Much as she tried, it must be because of the nine-tailed fox inside of them that was keeping them at bay, because the two of them were still awake, despite the place being filled with so much bloodlust. Raiga panted as he felt his breath shallow. He could hardly breathe. Was that it? Was it? Naruto screamed as more bloodlust leaked from his body. That was the last straw for Menma and Mito, as the both of them fell unconscious. As Naruto started to laugh, the only thing Raiga saw was cold, menacing red eyes walking out of the darkness. Pitch black darkness that seemed to crawl from hell itself. The darkness started to spread as it just kept on spreading. The trees that was around started to turn into ashes, the life force being sucked out of them. Raiga moved back in fear as the darkness seemed to entrap him all around. "Naruto-kun," said Jashin, "why don't you use that technique?" "Bring me his soul," she said. As Naruto smiled, dark release, souls of the underworld. His voice took on a demonic quality. Raiga screamed when the ground broke as he leaped, but something harsh dug into his flesh as he was pulled back down. He looked down as it was an arm coming from the pitch black darkness. Another one then came up. As he screamed, as he tried to fight them off, but no matter what he did, they were clawing at his flesh, tearing his flesh to pieces as they started yanking him into the nothingness. Raiga saw his life flash in front of his eyes as he regret taking this mission. He regret coming here. He screamed a blood-curdling scream as blood filled his mouth, his lungs, his earway. His eyes became red as his soul started to be yanked to the world of the dead. All of the souls that Jashin had gathered so far. Naruto could summon them from the underworld, where they were stored by Jashin to use them. As they tore Raiga's flesh apart and pulled him, the last thing Raiga saw was Naruto. Blood dripping from his mouth, his eyes red, demonic, a sinister laughter escaping his lips that chilled him to his very bones. After all, the only thing that remained was bones. That was the last thing Raiga saw before his soul was consumed. All the darkness over the entire area flooded back in towards Naruto like a tidal wave as he flew straight back into him. And the area returned back to normal despite the dead trees and dead plants all around, and the shallow breaths from his teammates who were all unconscious at the moment. He stood there. That was a sight that Kakashi and Tenzo came to see. Kakashi had an arm draped around Tenzo, as it looked like Kakashi was exhausted but he was still up. What happened, he said, his gaze on Naruto, who was the only one standing. Tenzo, check them. I can stand. Tenzo nodded as he rushed over to the others. After a while, they're okay, he said. What happened? As Naruto looked down towards the ground, there was nothing there. The ground was scorched black, but nothing there. We were attacked, said Naruto. By who? Kakashi asked, looking around, thinking that Naruto had knocked everyone out and was planning to kill them. That was the first thought that came to his head, because there was no one here. Kakashi, said Tenzo. As Kakashi looked over, as Tenzo picked up two blades. Wait, are those? Yes, they are. The Kiba blades from Kiri. Naruto, were you attacked by Raiga, former 7-ninja swordsman of the mist? How the hell should I know his name, said Naruto. A guy attacked me and I killed him. That was that. Those idiots passed out in fear. Huh. Worthless, the lot of them. As Naruto looked towards him, where's the other one? Tenzo looked toward his hands, as it seemed shaking, like it had been froze for a moment there. He escaped, Tenzo said. And you two are Jonins. What, said Kakashi? I mean, I was attacked and I handled my foe. And yet the both of you went off to fight and you came back. And you lost? Pathetic. As Naruto-senpai turned his back. Tell me when we're to go, he said, as he just stood there. Kakashi decided not to say anything more than that. He can question him when he get back at the house, and also reprimand him for giving back Zabuza's blade. But Zabuza got away. They didn't know that he had another accomplice. Flashback. As Zabuza was pinned up against a tree, wooden vines pinned him. Kakashi was about to finish him, his hand crackling with lightning, when suddenly, a massive ice mirror erupted. Ice sand bonds launched towards the two. Tenzo looked over as he saw someone freezing his Mokiton before breaking Zabuza out of it and picked up his blade. The person quickly leaped away as the ice mirror kept on firing sand bond towards them. As they had to evade, the person got away. Kakashi was only looking exhausted because he overused the Sharingan, as he was the one that took Zabuza on, and Tenzo put up backup. But other than that, they were fine. They weren't scratched up or anything. After all, there was the two of them. Zabuza might have get a few hits in, but nothing too deadly. But they were about to finish him, because he overestimated himself, thinking that Tenzo wasn't strong enough, when indeed Tenzo wood style came in handy. In the end, Tenzo had to carry them back after he woke up Tazuna, because Naruto wouldn't carry any of them. So Tenzo had to create wood clones to carry them back. If it was up to Naruto, they all would have been left behind and eaten by the wild animals. Well, except for Mito and Menma. He wanted to kill those two himself. As they made their way back to the house, meanwhile, Raiga was confused where he was. "Where am I?" he said. Laughter could be heard around him. He could not see. He wondered if his eyes had been carved out or something. But that was not it. Darkness was all around him. Laughter got closer and closer. "Where am I?" he said. "Oh, you're mine now." As Jashin appeared in front of him, her form was not the way that she showed Naruto or the Kyuubi. It was different. Raiga screamed as he tear his own eyes out. Literally. The sight in front of him scared him. It was so horrific. He ripped his own eyes out, but no matter what he did, they kept on regrowing as he kept on seeing the sight. He peed, he shit himself, he puked. No matter what he did, he couldn't escape it as he curled up in a ball, shaking uncontrollably. Jashin simply laughed. As she stood there watching him, something was wrong though. Something that has been going on lately. Whenever Naruto kills someone in her name, and the soul was brought to her, it wasn't 100%. She didn't know how, and it didn't seem like Naruto even knew that it was happening, but a part of the soul was being fueled into him mostly. Yes, a part was being fueled into him. When he was younger, she used to use the souls that he killed. When he killed those people in the village, she used to give him a part of it to make his body stronger. A soul. The power, the life force behind it was very strong. So she enhanced his body, that is why. He grown so tall and so muscular for someone so young. Not to mention his incredible strength. But now, his body was doing it on its own. Taking a part of his soul before it was even brought to her. She didn't know when this started to happen, but it was doing it. The Kyuubi had asked her if something was wrong, but this was not what she was afraid of. The time when Naruto was getting angry, he snarled at the both of them. They were able to calm him down, and the Kyuubi simply shook it off as him going too much into the power, but that was not the case. If she had focused, she would have noticed that Jashin had felt limp, as Naruto was tapping into her somehow. She didn't know if it was long exposure to her power, or because of what she did to him. She did far more than what the Kyuubi did to him. Even till now, he wasn't able to tap into what she did to him, but soon enough he will. And that will be the day when he truly evolved from a human into something different. But she was, well, a bit worried. Here she was, a being of death, malice, and lust, worried for a human. Because the side effect of these could be traumatic. She already changed his body for the better, but for him to be tapping into her very power, into her very darkness, that was something that not even he can handle. Or maybe he can. She didn't know. But she would have to make sure that he keeps a level head, after all. He always listens to them. He will never go against their wishes. Never. Would he? She shook her head. No, he won't. They had grown him for this very purpose. To turn him into the perfect warrior for them. To get revenge on all that wronged them. She was going to use him to get what she wanted. But yet a part of her felt she didn't know what this feeling was because she never experienced it before. So she couldn't tell exactly what it was. It was a confusing feeling. Every time she thought about using her to get what she wanted, after all. What she wanted would involve his death when she was ready. And yet every time she thought about him dying, this feeling came up. And she didn't know what it was. But she shrugged it off. Besides, he get to do what he wants. He get to slaughter his parents and all those that wronged him. If he died after that, it didn't matter, right? Because he get to do what he wanted. But yet there was this feeling. She shrugged it off. There was nothing to be concerned about. She would worry about that later, she thought to herself. After all, it wasn't so bad. Time skip. Minma blinked. He was confused where he was. The last thing you remember, they were all hit by this lightning, and then Naruto, the demon, he shook his head, attacked this man with 2 long blades, and then he passed out. A feeling like he was being suffocated Menma, you're weak. He looked up. Mito? She smiled. What happened? We somehow passed out. It seems that Naruto had defeated that guy that attacked us. He saved us. What? Said Menma. Yeah, he saved our life. Kakashi told me that it was a man known as Raiga, one of the 7 ninja swordsmen. We would have been dead if it wasn't for him. I should what? Said Menma. Are you gonna say I should thank him? Please don't tell me that is what you were thinking, Mito. Have you lost your mind or something? No, that wasn't what I was saying, she said. I was saying that you should get on your feet. And get up. Because Zabuza is not dead, and we still have to protect the bridge builder. It's our job after all. Kakashi and Tenzo will have to face off against Zabuza. And Kakashi said that there is someone else. Zabuza has an aide. Is that so? As he picked himself up. Well then, you have nothing to worry about. I'll take care of this person, whoever it is. She released a sigh. Don't get overconfident. What? Nothing. No, what? Are you saying that I can't defeat this person? Of course not. I'm saying don't get overconfident. Because sometimes when you get overconfident, you get cocky. And you get hurt because you're dumb. So, you get what I'm saying? She said. Yeah, he said as he raised his arm in surrender. She released a sigh. Sorry to go off on you like that, but lately, you have been acting like a complete asshole, a moron. Every time you have been getting up in a fight with him, you have everything. Can't you be satisfied with that? You might not be as stronger. What? You heard me, she said. He kicked her ass 3 times now. Haven't you realized it? Those were just lucky shots. He's not stronger than me. I've trained my entire life to get where I am. He's nothing but a demon. So don't compare his power to mine. Well, whatever. You love Hinata, right? Of course I do. What are you? You love her, right? Yes. You have her. Mom and father. The both of them love us. With him, it's completely different. The people of the village love us because we're the son of the great Yellow Flash and the Red Habanero. So just suck it up and stop acting like a whiny, naive brat. He narrowed his eyes as he didn't look at her. Look, I'm sorry for ranting like that, but you need to calm down. Every time you're getting in a fight with him, you're always getting hurt. And if I have to choose, you know I'm gonna choose you. Because I won't let him hurt you. And if it comes up to it, I will do anything to protect you. I chose your side a long time ago when I called him a monster. When I called him a demon. So I'm on your side, so just don't lash out at me either, she said. I'm on your side. Yeah, I know, jeez. Bossy pants, he said. Her eyebrow twitched as she punched him over the head. Ow! I was just kidding, you know, he said. She released a sigh as she smiled. Let's go downstairs, she said. There's some people you gotta meet. As they made their way downstairs, I see her up, said Tsunami. Are you feeling okay, she asks. Yeah, thanks, Menma said. Oh, my name is Tsunami. I'm Tetsuna's daughter, she said, as she held out her hand. Nice to meet you. Name is Menma Namikaze, he said. Nice to meet you, Menma Namikaze. I really appreciate you and your team helping my father. I can't thank you enough. Oh, it's my pleasure, he said, a beaming smile, as she smiled back at him. You're not the only one, you know, said Mito. Just let me bask in the glory, would you, he said. Fine, said Mito. It's already dark out. You slept for quite a long while, she said. Wait, how long was I out? Well, that happened yesterday, she said. So, that long, he said. Would you mind gathering the others? I've made dinner for all of us, she said. I'll do it, said Mito. You go ahead and sit down, she said to Menma. You still seem a bit off. What do you mean I'm a bit off, he said. Just sit down, she said. She made her way outside. Moments later, Eve and Naruto came inside the house. As all of them sat around a rather large table, dinner was silent as they ate. As usual, Menma kept on sending glares. They were having stew. Inari looked at all of them. He felt rather out of place to shout because he once told them that they were going to be killed by Gato, yet the 2 older ninjas and so much of them. As his grandfather had told him that they went to Konoha to ask the 4th guy for help, and he sent the best of the best ninjas, but still it didn't matter. The pot of stew that Tsunami had cooked for them. As it wasn't that much, but all of them got a share. All of them were eating. Yes, all of them. What none of them noticed was in the pot of stew, there was a strange darkness that were just moving around in the empty pot. That meant they all were eating it. Well, little did they know. Well, they will find out soon enough. Well, they wouldn't. Because it was meant to sedate them. Inari had enough. It doesn't matter. They all turned towards him. It doesn't matter how much of you are there. All of you will die. As they focused on the boy more intensely, Inari said Tsunami, "No, Mom. They should know Gato is gonna kill them all, one way or another." "What?" said Minma. "You all are gonna die. You all know nothing about this place, or what we've been through, yet you come here thinking that you can win against Gato. He's gonna break you like he breaks everyone else. All of you will die. There's no hope. There's no point of going on, because everyone here will die." Naruto picked himself up. Kakashi narrowed his eyes at him. He hadn't got the chance to speak to Naruto about what he did by giving Zabuza his blade because he was exhausted when he came back and Naruto was out of his reach. As Naruto walked over towards the table, before he picked up a knife, as he looked at it, all of them tense. He then threw it. Instantly, a wooden vine blocked the knife. Inari was panting hard. Tsunami's eyes were wide along with Kazuna. "Why did you stop it?" said Naruto. "He said there's no hope. He wants to die, right? So let him give up and die." Inari looked down as the ground was wet. He peed his pants as he gulped. "Do you know what you almost did?" asked Yamato as he looked at Naruto. "Yeah, I was gonna kill someone who wants to die." "Naruto, wait outside." "What?" "I said wait outside," said Kakashi. Naruto simply shrugged as he simply walked away. Tsunami still couldn't believe that he actually do that. Inari ran upstairs crying. "Sorry about that. He's a bit unstable," said Kakashi. Minma clenched his fists. If he get away with this, he should not get away with this. As the ground was wet from Inari, as he peed himself hard. Tsunami still couldn't believe that her son almost died. The moment she saw that one, he gave her the freaks. His eyes just seemed to peer right into her own soul. Kakashi picked himself up as he made his way outside. "What the hell is wrong with you?" he said, as he looked at Naruto. "What? I was doing him a favor." Kakashi grabbed him by the shirt. "Do you know how much time you've been given leniency? And yet you still do these nonsense. Haven't Minato warned you?" "Oh, he did. That I will be thrown in prison. But what are you people gonna do? Kill the weapon? I mean, if you do kill me, won't you have to use those two in there? Everyone loved them, right? You'll have to use the two loving ones instead of the demon. So tell me, what are you people gonna do? Kill me? You think just because you think you're a weapon and we're gonna use you, that you're that important," said Kakashi. "You can be stripped of your chakra and placed in jail, and no one will care. You disobey orders after orders, giving back the enemy's weapon. What kind of nonsense went through your head for you to do that?" Naruto threw his hands off him. As Kakashi eyed twitch as he clenched his fists. "What? You gonna fight me?" said Naruto. Kakashi calmed himself. "I won't be the one giving you a punishment, it will be your father." Naruto spat at that, like that their word was nothing but poison. "And trust me, this punishment will be worse than the other ones. In short of killing me, there is nothing you can do to make me care," said Naruto. "You'll see," said Kakashi. "You'll see." As he made his way off. Meanwhile, that was going on. Gato was leaving the residence of Zabuza, and that little harlot bitch that just broke his arm when he tried to touch Zabuza. He was trying to reprimand the two of them for losing, and that bitch broke his goddamn arm. He was gonna kill her, that bitch that was with Zabuza. Suddenly, as he walked, he heard thumps behind him. He turned to see his two men dead. His heart instantly froze over, thinking that it was that bitch trying to attack him. But he didn't see anyone. Gato, he heard. Gato ran, his short stubby legs trying to take him far, but they weren't succeeding as a crow fly past him and land in front of him. Gato fell, backing away from the crow rather quickly, when a hand pushed right out of the crow's mouth. With a terrifying sight, Gato watched as an entire body crawled out of the crow's mouth, revealing a human being, a boy, his body thick in coat of darkness. "Hello there, Gato," said Naruto, as he smiled. "Who are you?" "Think of me as a friend." "I have a deal for you," said Naruto. "Well, what do you want?" "Well, you want the bridge builder dead. And as a matter of fact, so do I. But I'm gonna need you to do something for me." "Well, what is that?" said Gato. "Tear up your contract with those two," said Naruto. "And there's another thing." As Gato listened to whatever this thing was saying. Meanwhile, in the little cottage under the tree, Haku, Zabuza's faithful servant, she had made her way off and gathered some herbs. It was not far away, something that was near the tree bark outside, a few feet though. Something that will stabilize Zabuza-sama wounds for now, until she can go out tomorrow and gather the proper herbs. As she came back, the basket fell from her hand and hit the ground, all the herbs spreading out over the ground. What she saw was a sight that she would never forget. Her master. Body parts were everywhere. Blood spread all around the bed, the ground, the floor. Zabuza's head was resting in the lap of a boy. One of the boys that traveled with the bridge builder. As he was rubbing Zabuza's hair back, like he was pecking a small dog. "Oh, hi there," said Naruto. You see, he was very tired and unable to defend himself, so I took the pleasure of removing him piece by piece. She was confused. How didn't she hear anything? Her mind was railing. "Oh, you're probably wondering, how didn't you notice? You see, I can kind of block out sounds. I couldn't have you interfere when I was having my fun." "So what's your name?" "You're quite pretty," said Naruto. Instantly, she created ice needles as she launched them, ready to kill this monster. They stabbed right into his chest as he fell down on the bed. She dropped to her knees, shaking in fear, agony, and pain. She didn't know what to do. How could Zabuza-sama be dead? How? You know, you should never let your guard down on your enemy. Haku's eyes widened before something sank in her neck as Naruto tear out her jugular. She dropped as she grabbed her throat, bleeding out. He laughed as he tore her apart, a sick, twisted, demonic grin on his face. Moments later, he emerged, drenched in blood. Well, as you can see, that was easily done. Now, for the other part of our bargaining. As Gato was fearing this monster, human creature, whatever it was. But at least it wouldn't cost him any money. And he can finally get rid of the bridge builder. Because the thing said it only wanted to kill. Good thing that Zabuza was not in any position to fight. Or this might have taken a bit longer. Gato was happy for that as he smiled. At least he wouldn't have to pay that goddamn bastard. As he was offering to give him so much. Because the man wouldn't settle for anything less. The money that he was gonna pay him, he could pay at least 100 bandits with that. And his idiotic bitch of a partner. He should have been the one to kill her after what she did to his arm. As he held his arm, that she had twisted so hard, he didn't even know if it was broken or sprained. Well then, I suppose we can make a deal. Wait, what's your name? Call me Reaper, said Naruto. As he smiled. And let's make a deal, shall we? As he extended his hand. Gato didn't know what he was doing. As he shook Naruto's hand. Not even know that he was making a deal with the devil. But guys, be in episode right here. If you want the next part of this, do like, subscribe, comment down below, and turn on that bell notification as I posted. Remember to share to all of your friends on your social media platform. And also guys, go ahead and check out what if Naruto became the god of lightning. And also what if Naruto had the rarest bloodline over anime king too. And enjoy that guys. And yeah, I'm out for now. See you guys soon. Peace.